Day one of free agency in the books. Well, the legal tampering period. And we have some fantasy football winners that come out of those signings. Now, there wasn't necessarily a fantasy football relevant signing of one player, but there was several other signings that are going to positively impact some big time names for fantasy football purposes. First up, Patrick Mahomes. Both of their offensive tackles were headed to free agency, and the Kansas City Chiefs jumped out and got ahead of the ball. They were able to ink former left tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jawan Taylor, for $80 million over 3 years. Taylor did an excellent job last year and was a big reason why Trevor Lawrence was able to take a huge step forward. And now they get a younger replacement for Orlando Brown on the left side of the offensive line, which is great news for Patrick Mahomes, because the last thing you want is your ace, the quarterback one in all of the league, scrambling for his life because you can't protect him. So for fantasy owners, big time numbers from Patrick Mahomes still likely in the forecast for 2023. What about Darren Waller? Some people don't agree with me on this take, but I think Jimmy Garoppolo in Las Vegas is actually a good thing for him. Just over $72 million over the next 3 years for Jimmy Garoppolo to be the starting quarterback in Las Vegas. And when he was with San Francisco, George Kittle was a big target of his. Now, some people point to last year as a down year for Kittle and say, well, it was because of Jimmy Garoppolo, but take a look at the numbers behind all of it real quick. George Kittle was hurt to start the year, and when he came back, he still wasn't at 100%. It wasn't until about midway through the season that he was really back to being his former self, and he had a stretch of 4 touchdowns in 4 games. Now, the numbers leading up to Brock Purdy's takeover weren't Purdy either, and he did a lot better when Purdy took over. But just because Brock Purdy connected well with George Kittle doesn't mean Jimmy Garoppolo did it. In fact, their last full healthy season together was 2019, and in that year, George Kittle put up massive numbers at the position. Jimmy Garoppolo is not a deep threat guy. He is not a guy that's going to take risks or push the ball down the field just to do it. He's going to be looking for the open people, and Darren Waller at the tight end position is a mismatch nightmare all the time. So I can guarantee that he's going to be one of the big beneficiaries of Jimmy Garoppolo's play style in Las Vegas. The Chicago Bears are having a huge offseason so far, swinging that huge deal last week, trading the #1 pick, bringing in more picks and DJ Moore. And on top of that, Poles has gone to work on the defensive side of the ball. He's added several guys, a couple of linebackers, and they are looking a lot stronger now. But one that's under the radar is guard Nat Davis, signing with Chicago 3 years and $30 million. A big part to Justin Fields taking the next step in his career and growing as a passing quarterback is going to be an offensive line that can protect him. Chicago's offensive line last year was below average across the board, and it was a big need for them this offseason to ensure that Justin Fields had some clean pockets to throw from and wasn't forced to run all the time. Nat Davis at the guard position is really going to help in that area, but he's also going to help as a guard that can pull out and get in front of Justin Fields on designed quarterback runs. Justin Fields may be one of the biggest winners of the offseason so far. Now, there have been some rumors that Tennessee is shopping superstar Derrick Henry. And I don't know how accurate that is or if they're actually going to get anything for him. But as of right now, he's a winner today with Tennessee. Tennessee investing $29 million over the next 3 years for guard Andre Dillard. This offensive line the last couple of years has taken some huge hits, and then they decided to release Taylor Lewan a few weeks ago. So they are looking for pieces on the offensive line to help that run game. There was absolutely no way that they could head into the season with what they had. So spending some cash on an offensive guard like Dillard was a really good job on day one, because if you're going into the year with Derrick Henry, you've got to give him room to run. He's a big guy. He's going to run over a lot of people, but if they're all in the backfield on him at one time, dude's going to wear down quick. We don't want that for Henry. Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson are my last winners, and it's not because of a free agent signing. It's because of a re-signing. Center Ethan Pocic was expected to be a guy that a lot of teams were going to pursue in free agency, but the Cleveland Browns didn't let it get that far. They bring him back for $18 million over 3 years, which is a good move for this offensive line, allows them a little bit of cohesiveness that they've had with injuries and other things over the last couple of years, and you got to give Nick Chubb, who is without Kareem Hunt for now, and Deshaun Watson, who you paid guaranteed money to, a little bit more leeway in finding some holes and protecting them in the passing game. So while this move may not seem like a whole lot to everybody in terms of the run game and making sure Deshaun Watson has the time, bringing back Pocic was an absolute must for the Cleveland Browns. Yo, I didn't cover every signing from day one of free agency, but if there's something you feel like I missed, let me know in the comments down below. If there's anything fantasy football wise that you feel like was really helped by any of the signings today, I want to hear your thoughts on it. Hit that like button for me before you get out of here and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Peace out, Headliner Nation, and I'll catch y'all on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.